Hello again, RegiTime here with like the 4th episode from the Lucky Bag. It's our second 10-0 snap video, following straight on from the last one, literally like minutes later. Not sure what we're going to do for video 4. I guess it depends how I feel. I mean, I think we had some good discussion in the first video. We might just continue doing some of these. I mean, it's a nice relaxing way for me to make videos, and it seems to be content you guys enjoy, so we might knock a few of these out. Doesn't seem there's like a great thirst for seeing me play other variants, which is probably just as well, because I probably don't play other variants quite well, quite so well as I feel I play these games. So what we're going to be talking about mostly in this video is situations coming up that I feel many players just don't approach properly. It's spots where I think people could do better by just giving up, spots where I feel people don't get enough value, all those types of things. We're going to be reviewing the hands, or taking the hands, talking about what not to do as much as what to do, if you will. I forgot to say this in the last video, but please do like, share, subscribe, all those things. And if you like my content, please do go ahead and give me a follow on Twitch. The link to my Twitch stream is below the video, and we're trying to build the stream. We're doing quite well at slowly but surely building up a bit of a following, but we can always use more. So we have an overpair here. We now have a nut flush draw 2. We've got a lot of options here. We can I think versus someone with a bigger stack, I think we can make a small case for checking back and then calling rivers, or raising rivers, or betting rivers. Whereas this stack size, I'm willing to just bet big, and if he jams on me, just cry and call it off with our overpair and flush draw. I mean, we're going to be behind here a decent amount, I guess. But I mean, kings with a spade is just too strong. I think kings without a spade here we can definitely fold, but kings with a spade is just too strong. Sadly, he did have us beat, but fortunately we went and got there. I think it's just about thinking in advance there. Like, too many people there, they would bet the turn and then, like, oh fuck, he's raised, now what? I think before you bet the turn in those situations, you have to contemplate what am I going to do to it versus a raise. And sometimes you might want to bet fold, so you maybe want to bet just a little bit smaller and fold. Other times you're going to, if you decide you're going to bet call, then you may as well put a bit more meat on it for the times that they're not raising and just calling with the worst hand. So yeah, thinking ahead of like, what am I going to do if this scenario bears out or that scenario bears out, and then making a plan for the possible scenarios. Forward planning is just something that, in my opinion, another leak of a lot of players. I'm like, when I'm watching people play like in live sweats, or when we're doing a video review, and I'll pause and I'll say like, well, you bet here, what was your plan if he did X, Y, and Z? And people are like, oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. And it's, yeah, it's something I talked about years ago. A lack of forward planning. People don't have to really do it in hands very often. They just like take the action that they want to take and then react to what's happened. And then you're trying to make decisions when you're under stress because something's happened that's annoyed you or taken you by surprise, and then you kind of think you've got to quickly try and like scramble a plan. Don't be that guy. Like with the kings there, I think it's a perfect example of how I approach a situation. It's like, right, well, there's a good chance a raise might, well, not a good chance, but there's a chance a raise might come in here. How am I going to respond to it? And then act accordingly. If I had 2 kings there without a spade, I would have bet smaller, folded to the raise. As it was, I had 2 kings with the spade, and I was just prepared to commit to my hand at that point. If we get raised, I'm probably going to be beat, but I'm going to have equity. So in that case, I went for the bigger raise because I knew I wasn't folding. I went for the bigger turn barrel because I knew I wasn't folding, and we could get fat value from Queen X. And if I was bet folding the turn there, I would have gone for a much smaller size, like maybe 40% pot, just to still try and get calls from some of the hands we wanted to call with, like 10x, Queen X, but be able to like fold, get away, not because we're not going to be giving ourselves such a good price to call it off. So stuff like that, you know. I just don't think people do make a good enough job of future planning. if you heard some noise there. I don't think you need telling what it was. I do apologise. I think I made a mistake here. I think we should absolutely have c-bet this flop. I've made a mistake. I was too busy thinking to myself how I might be the only YouTuber who frequently farts on stream, on video. So yeah, we're going to blame flatulence for this one and just get out of the way. Three bet pot here. He's called. Do not expect him to fold like many pocket pairs here. I'm going to make a stab, but we're not going to bet big because we're not. I mean, if we bet say 13 here, he maybe folds pocket sevens. If we bet 7, maybe he doesn't. But he's just going to be either check folding a lot or check calling a lot, and I don't think size has a huge influence on that. Once he does check call, I think the jack's a pretty bad card to barrel on. He can certainly have some queen X, pocket jacks, pocket nines, pocket tens, all those types of hands that some of them will fold to a c-bet, some won't, so to a turn barrel. But yeah, we 3-bet him. He's raised under the gun, we 3-bet. He's check called a flop bet. I think it's just time to probably give up. Interesting river now. So what hands call a bet here and how much do they call that we beat? I think we have to bet something here and fold to a raise. It's hard to think of too many hands that can call a bet here actually. In fact, I think it's just a check back and just hope we've got there. Because I can't think of many hands that can call here that we beat. King Jack, but it doesn't float the flop. Jack 10 might float the flop, but just not enough. We're just going to make it a pretty weak check back. Just come to think, yeah, we probably have the best hand now, but what do we get value from? And I concluded that we didn't get value from much, hence the check back. And I'm willing to play for all this guy's chips at this point. We've got an SPR of 5, we have top pair, good kicker, and a strong draw. I'm willing to check raise if this guy folds, just check call if he calls. Probably need to stop farting. I'm recording this on OBS and sadly you can't pause OBS, you either just have to start or stop. So we're going to have to try and put up with the wind until we've finished recording. River the nuts. This is going to go check way too often here. We can't check here. We're just going to miss way too much value. I'm just going to bet like 20 blinds. Let's hope he has something he can't fold. If we could go for, if I thought we could get a check raise in, but it's been like small bet flop, call. He's just like stab small on the turn. I'm just going to go and bet our hand for value now. Let me get the call. She's pretty sweet. King Jack, yeah, he's absolutely not betting that on the river. He's just checking that back close to 100%. So really like our line there. I think I'm going to do some more of these. Quite enjoying this little morning session. So maybe we're going to keep doing some more 10-0 videos and maybe change the title. Maybe this won't come on. Maybe this video and the video before won't come under the lucky bag. Maybe lucky bag's going to be consigned to when we do something else, and we'll actually just have like a little 10-0 series of like, I don't know, I can't think of a title at the moment, but I'll think of something and bring them out under their own heading. Azerbaijan. You don't see many Azerbaijanis in the pool. Maybe that's why. Maybe they just constantly bust over by shipping 50 blinds over a 3 blind open. I could make farting like a unique selling point of my videos. You know, just get fart connoisseurs coming along watching too. People that don't have any interest in poker, but find flatulence highly amusing. And there's a community out there that might want to come and like try and catch some of the good ones. Thinking here, I think we've got all options on the table here. I mean, clearly folding's are not an unreasonable option. I think we can sometimes float because we sometimes have the best hand, but we have like nut flush draw and backdoor straight equity. Or could we just raise now and get him off like hands like pocket eights, sorry, pocket sevens and stuff that's just stabbing? I think I like the raise now option. Too many people there would just like auto c-bet pocket nines and then just be forced to fold to a raise. They shouldn't be doing it, but I mean, I'm sure we've all done it ourselves. Lots of guys just do that. It's like, oh, I haven't got anything neat to bet. Or I don't like my hand, need to bet. And that's one thing I do better than lots of players, is I will just spot opportunities where we don't have much, but we have backdoor potential, and then I'll use that backdoor potential to maybe take some lines that other guys just aren't finding. This guy isn't very aggressive, so I think we can defend the king 10 suited as if we're in the big blind and try and take some flops. It's that quiet moment while I chug away on my vape and not much is happening. Come on, bridesmaid. The bride that's meant to be fucking late and holding proceedings up, not the fucking bridesmaid. Interesting that we flopped the nut flush draw and just like donks big into us. I would raise versus a smaller size here, assuming we have some fold equity. Not as into raising versus big donk bets. We're just going to call and see a turn. Happy days. Going to call here now and hope the board doesn't pair. Perfect. Another cooler for that dude. Unlucky. Kind of deep here, so we're going to defend that 10-9. Normally I wouldn't recommend doing this 100 blinds deep, but 200 blinds deep, and we can defend the 10-9 suited. Unfortunately, it checks back and the ace hits. I mean, I don't think we win very often here, but I don't think if we bet, I don't think we have any chance of making a better hand fold, or not much chance. Maybe like jacks folds, but we'll just try and take our showdown value, what little showdown value we have. I think our lucky stars at clubs didn't come then, because he could have won a big pot. Again, here we're just going to stab and just get him off. Anything that hasn't connected with the board, I'll try to. Top a really, really, really bad gut shot here on table 1. See the whole world and the dog have called this time. It's a spot where I would definitely see bet into one player with our 3 to a raw flush, but in a multi-way pot, I think. Well, now someone's donked, especially. Just giving up is the way forward. We were going to defend the 10-8 suited versus the pot size open with someone with a fish tag, but I'm not going to defend it versus the 3-ball. The 3-ball gets us well out of there. Tanks, and then the min raise comes in. Kind of interesting. This isn't a scenario we frequently get in. Guess we're just going to let a card come up and see what he does. So what did he have there? 10-9. We can safely give that guy the fish tag. Yeah, I think a lot of the content that people put out these days, it's just, I don't think it's really does justice to struggling recreational players, and just like try to teach people to keep it simple and what have you. I think like lots of content these days, it kind of gets off on being super clever, and I think it turns a lot of people off. I spoke to lots of people who just don't like watching like the content that involves like people going into like lots of maths and like breaking down people's ranges in like a really quite academic way. I think it just turns a lot of recreational poker players off who just maybe aren't that into that kind of thing. I know I'm certainly not. I'm not a particularly well educated man. I enjoy poker. I think I'm intelligent in many ways, but I don't enjoy a lot of the content that comes out with like breaking fucking ranges down and this and that and this and that. Again, it's good work from these guys. I'm not saying for a second it's bad and it's wrong. Please don't think I'm saying that, but I do think it turns off an awful lot of players, and I think there's room for people like myself making videos that just encourage people to just keep things really simple and try and break things down in a way that doesn't like turn people off. It's not for everyone. Lots of guys don't want this kind of content, but I think there's tons and tons of like fun players out there. They just want to hear someone talking about keep it simple, don't do, you know, and like trying to explain things in a way that isn't like super complicated, and makes, I think quite a lot of the content, it turns people off because it makes them feel like inadequate in some way or other. I know I feel that way sometimes when I'm reading things. I mean, for example, I got Jander's book, which I've been told is fucking genius. I've not got past the first chapter because it's just too much fucking maths. There's brackets, there's equations, there's fucking all sorts. I'm like, really? I'm sure this book is excellent, but I just want someone to explain things, just break it down, break the game down a bit more simply. There's tons of guys out there who don't have ambitions to like go higher and crush. Lots of guys who just want to learn a decent basic strategy that's going to keep them alive in the games and have them making a little bit of money. I mean, not everyone wants to like, well, I guess we all want to like be the sickest crusher in the world, but I think most of us are realistic enough to understand that's not going to happen for us, and we just want videos that's going to just explain how to like have a sensible approach to the game and break down some of the stuff that's explained in a complicated way, break it down to a way that goes into people's minds and it's like easy for them to remember and what have you. Hopefully that's what I'm providing here. I fold the king queen to the donk bet. We're not closing the action. There's not many good cards for us on the turn. I also think a lot of the content these days makes people like they're scared to value bet. I think I'm working with someone in particular at the moment who, when he came to me, had been being coached by somebody else whose name I'm not going to mention, but he's relatively well known in the community, and he just ended up like playing, I think I mentioned it in a previous video, like super scared poker. He was always scared of the nuts constantly. He had a massive monster under the bed syndrome thing going on, and I think that's how modern strategy gets some people. I think they misunderstand a lot of the messages that they're getting, and it just turns them into like being really scared constantly, like, oh, well, what if he's got the nuts, what if he's got the nuts, what if he's got the nuts. And I think there's people who are being like way too protective of hands that they should just flat out be fucking value betting. It's almost like some of the content out there makes people afraid to bet for value because they're always scared of like the sets or the worst case scenario. I'm going to call to set man here. He's made this quite small. 4 ball, please. Nope, not 4. Pretty good flop for pocket 4s, but we just couldn't afford to a c-bet because when there's not too many ways we're going to be able to get to the river, especially versus a bet of that size. I'm interested in defending the 4s to a 14 blind squeeze. I'm having a phone call, and as I can't pause the video, we got to 25 minutes. We're going to end it here, and next video will be another 30-minute one. Hope you've enjoyed it, everybody. Sorry for the abrupt end, but we can't pause on OBS, so we need to be taking the call. But bye for now, everybody.